If you think this is a game, I will start by killing your friends one by one.
This man can't be serious. No, I'm not buying none of it.
You know, I never liked you either, but this is between me and Derek.
Man, you ain't gotta like me. And if this is about y'all, then leave everybody out of this. You ain't gotta do everyone like this, bruh.
Listen, I would appreciate it if you would shut the fuck up.
Mike, you over here crying about him bullying you. All right, why didn't you just fight back?
I guess I should have beat your ass too, huh?
I ain't never bullied you, Mike.
But you were a part of it. I'm slow. I'm overweight. I'm scary. I'm the fat ass bitch, right?
Oh, word? This is what this is about?
You don't fucking get it.
Man, just put the fucking gun down, cause we all know you ain't finna shoot nothing.
Hey, what's up? If you watch my channel often enough, you will know that I always talk about budgets. I talk about independent filmmaking, and one of the things that causes a lot of people to hit roadblocks or stumble is budget management. And that can cover many different things. But today I just wanted to touch on casting, because there's a domino effect. When you do certain things or when you don't do certain things, it can cause a domino effect that will affect your whole project in a negative way, or in a positive way if you do it the correct way. So the thing I want to talk about today is casting. Casting actors for your movie or your series is very important, and I'm gonna tell you why. The obvious reason is because you want people who know how to capture the story and convey it in a way that the audience is going to enjoy. That's number one. But I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is when you get to set and you start to have to shoot, a lot of times working with inexperienced actors or just giving parts to your friends and your family and your boyfriend or your girlfriend, those people may not have the skill set necessary to make your project run smoothly. And the problem with that, besides the story looking crazy on camera, is that it can lengthen your days. And when you lengthen your days, or when you're working with actors who don't have the skill set to be professional on set, not just their behavior, but I mean in saying their lines, nailing the emotion, what happens is your day gets stretched, and sometimes your scenes get cut. And when those scenes get cut, or when you don't have enough time to capture the scenes that you scheduled for the day, you have to run into another day. Now, it's common practice that we all do pickup days, right? We all do pickup shots. That's just the nature of the business. Sometimes you don't know that you have to do something over until you look at the dailies, until you finish shooting and you're looking at the footage and you're going over it with your editor, or if you're editing it, then you're like, damn, I should have done an establishing shot. Or wow, the way that this scene goes into that scene, there needs to be something in the middle. So that's common practice. We know there are going to be pickup days, right? But you don't want to lengthen your shoot days because of an actor not being able to nail their parts. So this is why I say casting is very important, because sometimes when you're working on these independent films, you're working on these small budgets, you're working on these short time frames, you need your actors to come on set and kill it. They need to be there with their A game, and they need to nail it when you need them to nail it. I've literally been on set where an actor has missed it over and over and over, meaning their lines, or maybe the emotion, or maybe the beat, and we just had to retake and retake and retake and retake. And here's the negative thing about that. It's already a problem because you might be lengthening the day, but it becomes a problem because sometimes that actor can throw off the other actor. And then you have two actors being thrown off. And then it can also throw off the rest of the crew. It can mess up the morale of the sound man who has to keep doing take after take. The first AC who's over there clapping and doing another take. Clapping, I mean the clapperboard. He's over there doing that, or she's over there redoing it. Take 7, take 4, take 10. And then the cinematographer, you can be throwing him off too. And it's like, oh my God, are we ever gonna get this? The lighting, the gaffer, because if you're doing a scene where it's like in the sunlight or it's daylight outside, they're over there looking at their watch. They got their Sunseeker app and they're like, the sun is going down. while this actor is just missing every beat. So it's very, very important for certain roles, major roles, lead roles, that you get the best actor for the role. Don't fool around with that. The person that is going to be carrying this movie needs to be experienced. They need to know what they're doing. Me personally, because I work in this independent field, when I'm looking for actors, I am often looking for a certain type of actor. When I say a certain type of actor, I mean an actor with a certain type of skill set. So for those of you who don't know, there are different types of actors, just like there are different types of people. But in my experience, there are about 3 basic different types of actors. There are actors who are excellent at memorization. You give them the script and they can nail it. Something about them, they can just memorize the hell out of that script, right? Then you have some actors who can improv. They get into a role, they get into a character, they know the scene, they connect with it, and they're just incredible when it comes to improving. We don't always like improv on our sets, especially when there's some things that are very important, but there are some actors who have a skill set of being able to improv incredibly. And then you have actors who can pivot. At least this is what I say. You have actors that are great at pivoting. Now, if you've ever been on an independent set, sometimes things change. Sometimes things aren't going exactly according to the script. And on set, you have to make a quick decision. Okay, we don't have access to the bar. Something happened, they're not letting us in there. Or, okay, this actor didn't show up on set. Okay, we need to change the dynamic of the scene because we cannot lose the day. So actor A, I need you to do this. Or actor B, instead of you coming in from this direction, you're gonna come in from that direction. And instead of you so you need actors sometimes, me specifically, and working in this field, you need actors who are good at pivoting. I've met actors, or I've worked with actors who they're not good at pivoting. They're good at memorization. And they'll come and they'll do everything that they're supposed to do that was on that last script that they received. They nail the emotions, they practice the lines, they memorize it. So when they arrive to set and you tell them, hey, we're making a change, they start to fall apart. Me personally, I don't like those type of actors. And that's nothing against those guys. It's just that the way that I work, the way that I move, I have to pivot a lot. I'm an independent filmmaker, so I have to pivot often. I might go on set and it starts raining, so that outside picnic scene that we were planning to do, we can't do it anymore. Or maybe this just happened to us recently. We were on set and they were doing construction that day and there was noise all over the place. So sometimes things change when you're an independent filmmaker, and I look for actors who can pivot on the spot and have no problem with it. Memorization is good too. But sometimes if you can't pivot, you get stuck in the dialogue. Sometimes you have to change dialogue because something happens in the day. Oh, the prop master didn't arrive with the gun. Okay, we need to take that line out about you being shot and we need to change it to you being stabbed. And some actors cannot deal with that. So you need to make sure that when you're casting for your movie, you get the right actor for your production. You know who you're working with, because that can really help speed it up. Sometimes actors come in there, 1 take, 2 takes, boom, now we're on to the next scene. Now your days are shorter. And before you know it, hey, we plan to do 3 scenes, now we can do 5 scenes, because the actors that we got, they're nailing it. They're coming in with the emotion, they're coming in with the memorization, and they're able to pivot no matter what. So you have to really pay attention to who you're casting for your lead roles. Here's another thing that may happen. You send actors the sides, they record a tape, they send it in, they kill it. It's like, oh, this person's incredible. They got the look, they did the lines, they showed emotion. It was great. And then when you get to set, they're nothing like the tape, or something else is going on. And that's happened to me before. I shot this incredible scene. I had a bunch of people submit tapes and I was like, oh, wow. And I saw a person who had the look, she nailed it. And I was like, this is great. But when we got on set, she didn't know any of her lines. She couldn't read either. Now, some actors can look at their lines and read them and jump right in. Some actors can read, say the script is off screen somewhere, you put it here, you put it there, and they can read their lines as if they memorized them. That's another skill that everybody doesn't have. But this particular actor, she didn't remember her lines. she couldn't read very well. So even when I tried to place the script off screen for her to be able to read her lines, she was stuttering, she was pausing, it just didn't flow. So it wasn't good. But I already had the day, so I couldn't lose it. So I had to film with her. But by the time I got to the edit and I really, really looked at the footage, we had to cut her pieces out. We had to cut every part out because it really brought the movie down. It brought the scenes down because the actor she was paired with was better than her, and it didn't work out. I understand that sometimes an actor does well on their tape and doesn't do well in person, but you can only do what you can do. And I know I talk mess about Hollywood all the time, but when I did work on Hollywood sets, one of the things I noticed is that they had acting coaches on set. So sometimes when an actor is, having a bad day, those acting coaches would pull them to the side and get in their head and then work with them and get them back to where they needed to be. Which leads me to directors, right? What type of director is working on the project? Some of you are directors. I'm a director. Or some of you will hire directors. Some of you are producers, so you hire a director. But here's another thing, is that with the actors, you also need to have a good director. Every director isn't good. And directing isn't just action. Matter of fact, most of the time, it's not even director saying action. Well, on small sets it is. On big sets it isn't, right? But anyway, having a good director is also important to having a good actor. It's director. They must direct the talent. And there are different types of directors as well. Just like there are directors who handle the camera or who have a technical knowledge, there are directors who don't touch the camera. There are some directors who give direction only through words. Like they'll tell you, hey, I need more tears, or hey, I need more happiness. And that's how they direct their actors. Then you have some directors like myself where I'll explain it, and then if I see that you're having a little difficulty with that, I'll act it out. Plenty times on set that I've been with actors that they say, wow, you could be an actor. And maybe that's why I tried to do that movie by myself. But anyway, I'm the type of director that I talk to you and then I'll show you. I won't just talk to you, especially if I feel like you're not getting it. Maybe the second instruction, by the time we get to the third time or the third take, I'm like, okay, let me show this person. And I'll act it out myself. And I've done that plenty times and it's always worked. Because a lot of actors, if they can't hit something, they can at least copy something. They can at least mimic something. So I'll do that. But that's the type of director I am because I've gone to a lot of acting classes just because I wanted to understand how to communicate with my actors better. So I've gone to acting classes numerous times and I will go again. I will go to more just because I want to stay up on how to direct my actors. So make sure when you're doing your casting, you keep this in mind, because if you cast an actor who is not best suited for a role, it can affect your project and it can make your budget go over. If you got extra days, if you're losing daylight, if that actor throws off another actor, it just becomes a nightmare. So, in having said all that, I had an experience where I worked with some new actors and they did an incredible job. This one actor, I'm gonna show you a scene. Let me just show you the scene first.
Nicole! What? It's not like he's actually gonna kill all of us. And your mama, bitch.
What did you say about my mama?
Nicole, shut up! You still know when to stop, do you?
Nicole, didn't you sleep with Derek?
What?
Tell her, Nicole. Since you love to talk so fucking much.
I am so sorry.
Are you really? Because you did it twice.
What the hell? How could you do that to me? I thought you loved me.
Joyce, I do love you. It was just an accident.
Twice is not an accident.
It's not. It's shady as hell.
That girl don't mean shit to me.
Wow, that's not what you said the other day. Fucking joke, you know that?
How dare you?
You ain't nothing but a home-wrecking ass bitch.
I should get out this chair and
do
whoop
what?
your ass.
And do what?
Yo, Joyce.
Joyce, tell Nicole goodnight.
What?
Tell her.
No. Matt, you don't have to do this.
I guess so.
Now, I love that clip. I love this movie. It was great. And all of the stuff I said beforehand took a part in the casting for this movie. Because the original cast of people, I don't want to say they were bad, but they just would not have been able to carry the movie the way that these characters were able to carry it. And when I say these characters, what I really mean is the lead antagonist. Is that the word? I always get them mixed up. Antagonist, protagonist. Pro is the good, ant is the bad, I think, right? Forgive me, I don't know everything. But anyway, the main character, the one holding the gun, that was Sid. Now, Sid was an incredible actor. When he sent in his tape, I was blown away. I was like, wow, this kid is great. And he came, mind you, we shot this movie in Atlanta. He came all the way from Virginia to do this role. And we didn't even find out until like the 5th day of filming or something like that, or the 6th or 7th day of filming, that he had traveled all the way from Virginia just to do this movie. And he did incredible. But what I want to say about that is that was his first movie role. He was an inexperienced actor. He was a diamond in the rough. And I talk to Sid all the time and I say, Sid, when the right people get a hold of you, you're out of here, man. You're gone. Please don't forget about me. Sid did great. The girl he was talking to in the chair, the first girl, that was Alexis. Alexis did great. Tiana was in the background, the one saying, hey, Nicole, shut up. And then you had Alyssa that was closest to the camera, the one who got cheated on. And then we had Tyler, the boyfriend. These guys were incredible. There were other actors too on the other side that you couldn't see. I'll put up another clip another day. But this crew was so impressive to me, and I've worked with a lot of people. But for a cast of actors who didn't have a bunch of movies to their name, the fact that this was Sid's first movie, this was great casting. And when it came time to shoot, they all nailed it a bunch of times. We would be like, cut, do it again, and they still nailed it. Cut, matter of fact, we need to pivot, we need to change, this happened, and they still would nail it. And I love those guys. I swear to God, I look forward to us working together on more projects because they were all incredible. And on that note, I am out of here. I hope this video helped you out. I hope when you're casting, you're like, you know what? I need to put the best person in for this role. I can't just put my friend in there. I can't just put my mom in there. I need to do what's best for the project, okay? And I will see you guys next video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'm out. Try the left, try the right side. Point, tilt, twist the mic. Here you go. Just watch him when he walks out of scene.
Okay. All right, everybody. And action.
You bullied me because you were. I messed up.
Reset.
Reset.
Pull it back some more. All right, go ahead.
All right, action.
You bullied me almost every day.
We gotta get out of here. What the fuck is wrong with him? I don't know.
Is everyone okay?
Do we look okay?
We gotta get out of here with chairs.
What do you think?
Come on, we have to hurry.
All right, chill out.
Fucking
Look.
head.
I'm gonna get y'all out of here, all right?
Yeah, if you can, I'm gonna kill you myself.
Everything is gonna be okay. I
Oh, it
promise.
better be.
Shut the fuck up!